What's up, Lakers Nation? Happy Mother's Day, and boy, do we got some news for you. The Los Angeles Lakers are interested in moving the 17th overall draft pick at draft night to potentially bring in a star or superstar level player or hopes to increase depth for this Lakers roster. But before we get into that story, most people watching this video right now aren't subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep in touch for all things Lakers Digest. But with that being said, let's get into this story. Recently, Lakers reporter Jovan Buha of The Athletic recently came out and reported that the Lakers are looking to trade the number 17th overall draft pick. And in a quote, he says, it will be the first time that they can use all three of their tradable first round picks. And it's a prime opportunity for them to potentially get either a third star, whether that is a significant move like a trade for Trae Young or Donovan Mitchell, or a smaller move in bringing in a 3 and D wing or another big man remains to be seen. The Lakers are going to explore their options on draft night. My understanding is that they will be active and aggressive in trying to use that pick. Now, star players like Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell would be great additions to this team. But without question, the Lakers and Rob Pelinka need to prioritize going to get Donovan Mitchell. This is a player whose scoring translates well into the playoffs. And not only that, the playmaking and defense, you'll get that from LeBron and Anthony Davis. However, you need another bona fide scorer, another player that when the pressure is at its most intense, you can rely on them to not only deliver, but deliver in waves. You need more than one timely basket. You need multiple timely baskets. That's why you add a Donovan Mitchell. If you've seen the way that LeBron James was able to play with guys like Kyrie Irving and Dwayne Wade, a player like Donovan Mitchell would really be a perfect fit for LeBron James. And the great thing about LeBron James is in his older age, he's shown the ability to play off the ball at times. He's also shown the ability to allow players like the Kyries, the Dwayne Wade, the Donovan Mitchells, and when it is their time to take over, LeBron James will allow those players to be themselves. And I think when a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, who a lot of times this year did not really know who their third guy was outside of LeBron and AD, that by committee third player, or it sometimes being D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reaves. And shouts out to D'Angelo Russell. His shooting late in this year was great. However, the lack of playoff translation still is going to be the narrative on him. I mean, he had a game in the playoffs where he had 0 points. I think as a front office, you gave that system another opportunity and it fell short. And I think in a Lakers team that is win or bust every season, going to upgrade the guard position and getting a Donovan Mitchell does change life for not only expectations of this team, but I believe the potential of what the Lakers can be. Now, on top of bringing in Donovan Mitchell, it is going to be important for Rob Pelinka to also add another 3 and D wing. The perimeter defense of this Lakers team has been an issue all season long. Injuries to Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent 100% plagued this Lakers team throughout the season, just due to the fact that Austin Reaves and D'Angelo Russell aren't great defenders, and that's okay because they can score and they're good at offense. However, they are at times liabilities on the defensive end. Jared Vanderbilt not being in the lineup this year was costly for the Lakers due to the fact that his on ball pressure would have made a lot of things easier for this team at times. And also, it would allow the Lakers to have a lot more freedom in scheming how they guarded other teams' opposing best offensive perimeter players. I think if you take Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt and you're able to have them for the entirety of the season, I think your on ball pressure throughout this year improves. Now, I know some people believe the Lakers are going to use that 17th overall pick and bring in Bronny James. And I mean, Bronny James still going to end up on the same team as his father. However, Bronny James is probably not a lottery pick or a top 20 pick in the draft just based off the season he had at USC. Now, this isn't a gripe to Bronny, obviously coming off a cardiac arrest, starting his season late. As a former Division One athlete myself, I think it is almost unfair by the masses to think somebody who didn't go through a camp and get ready for a season can go in and just hop in and find their groove after coming off a cardiac arrest and not being able to play with his teammates throughout practice and camp. But he does possess all the tools to be a good player, I think, in the NBA. It's just a matter of player development and timing. I don't think his timing aligns with this window that the Lakers have with LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Donovan Mitchell, he accelerates your window because realistically, how many more years left do you truly have with LeBron James? You probably have 2 or 3 more seasons left, and really more likely 2 seasons left where he'll still be a 25 point per game scorer. And Anthony Davis probably only has about 2 to 3 more years left of his prime, knowing his injury history and his concerns as well. Adding Donovan Mitchell not only puts butts in seats, but it also gives you that star that you're looking for post LeBron James. I think if LeBron James in a year or two decides he doesn't want to be a Los Angeles Laker anymore, you seamlessly transitioning into the Donovan Mitchell era works out perfectly if you're a Rob Pelinka. Now, NBA Twitter, specifically Lakers Twitter, have put out trade ideas for a guy like Paul George, who also would be a great fit for this Los Angeles Lakers team. Trade ideas have been looming with deals that pretty much had the Lakers giving up most of their young pieces and trading their picks in order to bring in PJ Tucker and Paul George. PJ Tucker, great corner three ball specialist, and also a guy who is going to play some physical defense, going to be a guy who will add that on ball pressure that the Lakers lack this season. And then on top of that, Paul George being the three-level scorer that he is, the defender that he is, the shooter that he is, he also is a perfect fit to this Lakers team. I just believe the real concern with a Paul George is his playoff translation. Is he going to be able to be the same level of player in the playoffs that he is throughout the regular season? And as much as Paul George is a star, I do think Donovan Mitchell has more upside and could be better for the next 5 years, as Paul George might be good for the next 2, 3 years. Especially, too, he's had some health concerns. Is he going to be out there on the basketball court? The best move in terms of bringing in a superstar for the Lakers most likely and truthfully is Donovan Mitchell because of the pros to cons. When you weigh out the pros to cons, Donovan Mitchell's been, for the most part, healthy throughout his NBA career. He's shown that in the playoffs, when it matters most, he does rise to the occasion. I just don't believe he's been on the level of NBA team or had the rosters around him to amplify how great he's been. But if you put him alongside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the sky is ultimately the limit. And this is a player who would easily take the reins, I believe, from a LeBron James and an Anthony Davis. And obviously, he'll be probably the third best player on the team. But in terms of the scoring prowess, he'll probably be the number one option as a scorer. AD could be the third option as a scorer, would take off a lot of relief for him. And LeBron could be that primary playmaker, second option in scoring. There's a lot of versatility and relief that bringing in a Donovan Mitchell adds to this Lakers team. With the Lakers interviewing defensive minded coaches like Mike Norrie, assistant of the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I think should be the favorite and front runner for the job because this Lakers team needs to add a defensive identity and a real one, a real defensive on ball pressure, get nothing at the rim mentality they just lacked a year ago. As great as Anthony Davis is as a defender, the other guys around him were just not phenomenal. Rui Hachimura showed signs that he's really not a great defender from an IQ standpoint. Reaves is just doesn't have the athleticism to stay in front of everybody, and D'Angelo Russell also doesn't have the athleticism in order to stay in front of some of the best perimeter offensive players in this league. I think by adding Donovan Mitchell along with a 3-and-D wing with the assets that you have to offer, Rob Pelinka, going to get and establishing, going to get defensive players and establishing a defensive identity for this Lakers team is pivotal. And ultimately, not only by adding Donovan Mitchell in a real 3-and-D wing, not only is that going to amplify the way you're able to use this Lakers team, but I do believe next season you won't be fighting in a play-in situation. The Lakers should be trying to not find themselves in the same situations that they have found themselves over the last couple of seasons, whether that be in the play-in, fighting for their life, for seeding. This year, Rob Pelinka should be trying to establish a roster that going into this next NBA season, the Lakers won't be having conversations about getting into the play and having to play the Sacramento Kings or the Warriors or the Houston Rockets to get into the playoffs. They need to be discussing who they're going to just be playing in the first round and preparing for those situations going into next season. Donovan Mitchell does that along with 3-and-D wings like maybe a PJ Tucker. Maybe you can find ways to trade for some of these other defensive wings around the league who have been killing it. But with that being said, this is JayRob with Lakers Digest. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And again, most people watching this video right now aren't subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Peace.